I think that, I mean, we set our schedule up in preparation for the end. Championship events are unique in that the size of the fields and the quality of the fields are a little bit different, but I mean, our preparation has led to this. It's the best time of the year, as far as I'm concerned, get the championship. So I think everyone's pretty excited.
And you guys have already been to the Spire Institute one time this season, so I guess talk about the familiarity that will bring, seeing as how it is a 300-meter track, how that will help the athletes.
I think that the track is probably less relevant than all the kind of things that you go through, just the process, the hotel stay, the trip back and forth from the hotel to the venue, where to warm up, all the little things that sort of make, kind of hopefully create a little bit more level of comfort, you know, as we go into competition. That's really, I mean, as much as anything, we went there because it's a great place to compete, but also give us a chance to kind of get comfortable with the surroundings.
And I heard you talking about Zach, but a lot of these events are pretty much pre-national competition, so kind of talking about that level of competition that they'll be seeing here to prepare them for the rest of the championship season.
Well, I mean, we talk about that when we recruit, that you typically line up with people at the Big Ten Championship, and then you go to the Nationals, and it's pretty comfortable because it's not uncommon for half the field or nearly half the field at the NCAA Championships to be part of the Big Ten. So I think that, you know, it's why you come to here. It's why you go to the Big Ten. It's why you get excited about this kind of championship, because it's track and field at its best.
And talk about some of the strengths of the performances that you hope to see this weekend.
Well, I think, I mean, we have some strong events kind of across the board. The triple jump, the weight throw, the mile, the 600. I feel like, you know, I feel pretty good about the people that we're taking to the meet, and expect many of them to be right in the heat of the competition. That's a big part of the fun of this.
I guess we started with a Notre Dame dual meet, or I guess it was like a tri-meet or something. Winning that was big. I mean, anytime you can, I think they ended up finishing second at Big East, so anytime you can beat teams like that, coming up a little short against Michigan, but I think a lot of us learned, or took quite a bit away from that, and then Spire was big for a lot of people, a lot of PRs, and bigger, I guess, PRs and just racing and getting down to it. But yeah, other than that, I guess those are the only 3 meets that we've had so far. And I mean, we're well prepared. Coach prepares us quite a bit. So especially being a 5th year, yeah. I feel like, I mean, I've made a few finals already in the mile over my career, and so I think personally I'm ready, and the team will be too.
Kind of talking about that mile, you guys had a pretty exciting race going on. How do you kind of want to build on that success to help this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, that was 4-second PR, getting close to that 4-minute barrier, but it still put me 8th on the Big Ten list. But I think even bigger is that I'm ready to compete. Like, it didn't feel hard, so that's a good sign.
And being, been to the Big Ten Championships a couple times, how do you kind of help the younger guys on the team get ready, get prepared, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, if they ask any questions, I think it's actually better to be younger because you don't know what to expect. So you just go into it with a clear head, and you just go in and compete and not worry about splits or anything. I think as you get older, you know what to expect, so you're a little worried, but I'm fine.
And how has training been going to prepare?
Going real well, actually. This is, knock on wood, the longest that I've been training, I think, since I started here. So hopefully we can keep that going on until outdoors too.
Well, the beginning of the season was a lot of fall conditioning, a lot of hill work, a lot of stuff that no one really likes to do. Basically, a lot of conditioning. And once we started getting colder outside and started moving indoors, we started doing a little bit more intensive training, stuff to really get your muscles moving and lactic acid flowing in your body. And now that we're approaching Big Tens, we're starting to taper. I mean, we have tapered. I shouldn't say we're starting, but we've tapered, and we're ready. Like, we're ready to go.
Yeah. And how have you guys been, kind of in training, just pacing yourselves to get to this point in the season?
I think at the beginning of the season we were going a little bit harder, more intensive, and now that we're approaching Big Tens, we're really focused on our events and on the small details. So, a lot of people are working on blocks where we wouldn't work on that in the fall. Working on arm placement or working on breathing, like just little things that make a big difference when it comes to championships.
And you guys have been seeing, Big Ten competition all season. So what do you kind of hope to do this weekend against that same competition?
I think this season's kind of special because we don't usually run into this many Big Ten schools preseason. We run into Michigan just by default, but now that we've ran into Ohio State, Penn State, Illinois, some of the more dominant programs, it's kind of exciting to know that we can compete with them on the big scale and at Big Ten. So I think we're looking forward to it. We're prepared more than we have been. Maybe confidence is a little bit higher.
Good. And you've had some pretty exciting races so far this season. So what do you hope to do this weekend?
I think the main objective is to win. At any Big Ten championship, the goal is to get as many points as possible for your team. And my goal this weekend is to win as many events as I possibly can for my team. And hopefully they're doing the same thing.
And you've been to a few so far, being a redshirt senior, so how does that kind of give you some comfort and help you lead the other members on the team?
Well, I think each year it gets a little bit easier. You kind of learn your territory, and by the time you're a senior, you kind of have that seniority where you just feel like you kind of have to almost protect everybody else or like lead them in the right way. So I think there's definitely a learning curve that comes with Big Ten championships, and some people pick up on it right away. Other people, it takes time to develop. But I think it's just a matter of taking the freshmen and the underclassmen with you, showing them how things are going, and taking away their nerves, because there's no need to be nervous. It's like any other meet.
Right, and a lot of these events are basically pre-nationals because of the level of competition. So how do you think it'll kind of help you guys pace through the championship season?
Well, I think for us, we have a really strong conference. So, especially for the sprinters and I know the throwers, I should say everybody. I know distance is the same way, but we have a pretty strong conference. So, to see these national level competitors at our own conference and know that we can compete with those national level competitors, at NCAA's, it's kind of a sigh of relief, and it makes us, realize that we're doing the right thing and we're in the right spot and we're doing all that we can.